We know that from time to time, by Farbrengens, the Rebbe would motion to the people that they should whistle while they're singing. Many times he would put his 2 fingers in his mouth to show whistling, and sometimes he whistled himself, and many, many times he would turn around to the back, and Reb Meir Abu Chatzira was standing there, and he would motion to him to whistle. And Purim, by the Farbrengen, Tovshin Lamed Vov, the Rebbe spoke about it by Riches. So I want to mention the background of why the Rebbe spoke that Sikhe. Because that year, Yutas Kislev, the Rebbe also did that. He motioned that people should whistle, and he himself put his finger in his mouth and whistled. After that, in the Allgemeine Journal, in the newspaper, there was a picture printed of the Rebbe with the 2 fingers in his mouth whistling. A week later, there was a letter printed there to the editor from somebody, actually from a Lubavitcher, who wrote that he thinks it's not nice to print such a picture in the newspaper, something like this, that the Rebbe is whistling, it's not such a nice thing, and therefore he doesn't know why they printed it. A while later, a good few weeks later, or maybe a few months later, I don't know, there was another letter printed in the newspaper, a letter to the editor by somebody. This time it was by Nada Lubavitcher. I think he signed himself, I don't remember exactly, as a professor, maybe in YU or something like that. And he wrote, he doesn't understand what's the problem with the Rebbe whistling, and he quoted the Rambam at the end of Hilchas Lulav, where the Rambam brings from Tanakh that when they brought the Orah and they were dancing and singing for the Simcha Shel Mitzvah, David was mefazez u'macharker. David was jumping and basically making himself crazy in front of the Oren as an expression of Simcha. So much so that the daughter of Shaul HaMelech, Michal Bashol, complained to him, how could you do that? You're dancing achas harekim, like one of the empty-headed people. Kachas HaShvoches, I think it says, like one of the Shvoches, and complained to him. So we see here that David HaMelech did it, and the Rambam brings it, because of Simcha Shel Mitzvah, you could do these things. That's what was printed there. But the Farbrengen of Purim, the Rebbe spoke about it, and the Rebbe said that this is what happened. That they didn't say they printed the picture, they said that there were people who complained, and the Rebbe had big tinus, mainly those people who are looking least kabed, bekol and chaveira. Some people are looking to get more honor by finding faults in others. But a person who claims that he goes on Mesiras Nefesh, meaning for the Rebbe, in Shaykhas Zogen, he should not understand. At least look into, find a source for it, you'll see. Elamai, the Rebbe said it's because milik the kopin kaloshin. It's an expression that the Rebbe once told the story that there was a chassid who opened the business of kaloshin, of boots, but he got so involved in it that the Rebbe Rashab told him, I heard of a foot in kaloshin, feet in kaloshin, feet in boots, but the kopin kaloshin, the head should be in boots, I never heard. That means you're involved in the wrong things. Because of that, you don't realize the truth, and that's why you didn't even think to look for a makir. And the Rebbe quoted this makir in the Rambam, the end of Hilchas Lulav, concerning David HaMelech, and the Rebbe said that nobody found it right to answer this tanya that the person had, why the Rebbe piped, so to speak, the Rebbe whistled. And the Rebbe said, the Rebbe pushed somebody from the outside that he should write that letter. So the Rebbe went into at length in this Rambam. Then the Rebbe also quoted a Gemara in Chul. The Gemara in Chul, Daf Samach Gimel, quotes a posik in Zechariah in Treyosar, where it talks about the coming of Mashiach. And there it says, this Loshen in Zechariah Yud posik Ches, Eshre kolohem v'akaptzem kifedisim. I'm going to whistle to them and I'm going to gather them. So we see here that the union of whistling, that Hashem will whistle, is connected to the Geula. That's a form of showing the Geula is to Hashem whistling. You might think it's Hashem whistling, but the Gemara in Chuln says that there was a story that it was a bird that whistled. So people thought, oh, this is a simon of the Geula, but really it wasn't true because it didn't whistle the right way. So we see it's not after if Hashem whistles. So we see this is connected to it. And the Rebbe said the fact is that this whistling, he knows, brought Yidden much closer to Yiddishkeit. Made changes in some people from one end to the extreme to the other. And the Rebbe said you don't have to even look into their thoughts to know their thoughts to know it. You look on their face, you see. And the Rebbe says he knows for a fact there were people, because of the Simcha Shel Mitzvah, it changed them. And the Rebbe said then another thing, that Yutes Kislev is the time when he whistled. Yutes Kislev, that Farbrengen, he spoke about the Yigeres HaKedesh. In the Yigeres HaKedesh, the one that talks, that the Alter Rebbe wrote after he came out of jail, and he said no one should do anything to the opponents, and lay listrek aleim, not even to whistle on them. And the Rebbe Rashab once told the Frierdiker Rebbe that he means afile a fife from Gedusha, even a whistle of Gedusha. In other words, there is such a thing as a whistle of Gedusha. But the Alter Rebbe says, not on them, don't do that to them. But there is a concept of whistle shel Gedusha. So the people who had this problem, this taina, why didn't they think of all this? And the Rebbe went on and went into a lot of details showing that this is a inyan in this inyan of whistling. Another time I remember, I think it was by a koshel broche, I remember when the Rebbe motioned to Rebbe Chassidim to whistle, and when he finished, the Rebbe said, you could only do it here. Other places you shouldn't do it because it's the union of plishtim. What he meant was, the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah that plishtim letzonim hoyu, plishtim were leitzim, were did such things. And in Chassidus says that the Rebbe didn't say it then, but it says that plishtim comes from the word movui hamafulish, like a road that is open to the other side. So here also, if you do these things, this kind of litzonis, you open yourself up to sitra achat, other sides. So therefore, the Rebbe used this lashon. You can't do it someplace else, only here, because here, by doing this, reyetze plishtim dikdusha. There is such a thing as plishtim dikdusha, and this is this type of thing, which seems to be like something that's not right, not because it's an aveire, but something that seems to be stupid or things like that. But if it's done for simcha shel mitzvah, like David HaMelech did, then it's the right thing to do. And that's what he said to him, that this is plishtim shel kedusha.